I think we're live.
Are we live?
Yeah, we are.
Now, I'm getting a little lag at my end. Okay. Boom.
Yeah, we're live.
It's Friday. We're live. You're 100% sure we're live? I'm still not getting a
We
little bit.
are. It says it on my end.
Okay. I gotta have a little conversation with StreamYard here. Okay. Guys, Dr. Casey Pride. I'm excited to be having another conversation. It's Friday. It's my favorite day of the week because I get to talk to some really awesome people on Fridays. And I'm excited to bring on my good friend, Dr. Antonio Rivera. Dr. Rivera and I go back a little bit. We were in chiropractic school around the same time. And he has gone out to create some pretty amazing things right out of the gate from chiropractic school. So, Dr. Antonio, it's good to see you, buddy.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm really, it's been a while since I talked to you, so it was good catching up with you. And I'm really excited to speak, whoever's watching, just to see if we can get some inspiration in people's lives.
I'm excited too, man. And I would love for you to just start by talking about your background, how you got into chiropractic, and tell people a little bit about your practice.
Yes, well, how I got into chiropractic, for the longest time, I wanted to be a pharmacist. And so my uncle's a pharmacist, so I really wanted to, get into that. I just didn't know really what I wanted to do, but I just knew a pharmacist would be an easier route. And so, but what I started doing was when my sister was, she was around 29 years old. She started suffering all these different types of symptoms, like she started bleeding while she was using the bathroom 10 to 15 times a day. She started getting these aches and pains, and she went to all these different doctors, all these different specialists, probably 6 different specialists, and they put her on like about 12 different medications. And what they found out was that she had 3 autoimmune conditions, and she had ulcerative colitis, fibromyalgia, and she had lupus, all these things. And so she was flaring up all the time when she was walk. She had also rheumatoid also. And so she was on all these different medications. And the thing she was going to do, she was going to go to Houston, and they were going to take out her colon, part of her colon, because she was bleeding so much and was just losing all this weight and things like that. But it got to the point where one of her friends actually asked her to go see her chiropractor. And of course, she didn't really, she was like, well, I don't have any pain, nothing like that. I'm not sure what a chiropractor can do for me. And so, but eventually, her friend convinced her and said, hey, you've tried everything. You might as well just see what he has to say. And so she finally went. And for the first time in her life, she heard what true health and healing was from and where it came from. It didn't come from the outside. It didn't come from the inside out. And so ever since then, what she started doing was she started taking pressure off her nervous system. She had like a 13-degree curve in her low back, which was shutting down life to her intestines. She started getting her spine corrected. She started eating better. She started detoxing. She started exercising, things like that. And within 9 months, she was off all her medication. She was off all, she was playing with her kids. She wasn't able to go to nursing school before then, but now she was able to go to school. She was able to be a better mom to her kids, a better wife to her husband. It just changed her life. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I see this and what she was suffering, and now her life has changed. Yeah, I gotta figure out what's going on here. And so that's when I really got interested in chiropractic. I started shadowing a lot of chiropractors, and then I just saw that it was a different approach to health, and that's what really attracted me. And then I decided not to go to pharmacy school, went straight into chiropractic school. And then I graduated, and then I started my practice here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And, I really have a big vision and a mission for this state, not just this town, but for this state. Louisiana is the sickest state in the country. We have more heart disease, more diabetes, more cancer than anywhere. And it partially because probably all that gumbo and crawfish etouffee that we eat. But it has a lot more to do with that. But it's very so much sickness here. so much obesity and things like that. So I really have a heart for this town. I remember when I was trying to choose a place. My family is from Shreveport and Bossier, which is kind of up northwest Louisiana. And I was trying to find a place where I was going to set my practice up. And so when I stepped foot in Lake Charles, I knew this is exactly where I was supposed to be. And ever since then, I've been going out like a madman, speaking about the truth about health and healing. Because if it can change my sister's life, it's so dramatic. All these incurable diseases that people's been telling that, there's no cure, there's no hope. It's all in your head. You have to take off your colon, things like that. Like that's so demeaning and it broke her, and she received no hope. And then she heard this guy talk about health and healing, and boom, it changed her life. And so like I do talks, I do all these patient appreciation weeks and things like that. I go all around and I speak to people all around this parish. Here in Louisiana, we call it parishes, not counties. I know we're weird, we're different. And so, but what I found out is that when I go around Calcasieu Parish, that's what we call it, people actually believe that they were born sick, they were destined for the disease, that they were born broken, they have to have a medication for the rest of their life, and or health actually comes from a bottle of pills or having a surgery or taking an organ out of their body. That's where health comes from. And so when I go out and I speak the truth about health and healing, I only been here for like a year and a half. I get to actually share the truth about health and healing. That it doesn't come from a bottle of pills or anything from the outside. It comes from the inside out. You just got to remove whatever's interfering with your body's ability to heal. And guess what? Magically, what science calls incurable, your body has the cure. It's right within you. And so I'm really pleased and blessed to be part of this town, this state. It's just the beginning. It really is just the beginning. And I truly feel like one day the governor of Louisiana is going to be calling up Lake Charles, trying to figure out why are people so healthy. And so, but I'm blessed to be here, and I'm blessed to be part of chiropractic. So, yes.
I love it, man. Yeah. I love your spirit. I love your heart. Yeah. And, a lot of people see, this level of success you've achieved, this level of influence, but a lot of people don't know really everything you had to overcome to get there. Yes. And you are someone who I think has had to overcome more than probably just about anybody I've ever met. Yeah. And I would love for you to just, if you're comfortable with it, to share just some of the stuff you dealt with in childhood leading up to chiropractic.
Yeah. So, I didn't grow up in the best place. I was born in, I'll share my story. Basically, I was born in New York City and Brooklyn. And so when I was about 2 years old, at that time, my parents passed away. And so both of them in the same month. And so at that time, when I was 2 years old, I was a baby. So the state of New York was trying to take me away and put me in the foster care system. And so that's what they did, especially when your parents pass away. And so, but at that time, my grandma and my grandfather was raising my sister and my two brothers. Well, my grandfather necessarily didn't really want me. My grandfather did want me. My grandmother really necessarily didn't. And so, of course, my grandfather won that battle and brought me into the family. And so they started raising me and taking care of me. And when I was 5 years old, my grandfather passed away. And by that time, my sister and my two brothers, they went to, they dropped out of high school and they went to drugs and drinking. And so here I was as a 5-year-old kid with a person who didn't want me to begin with. So you can imagine how life was like. It was a lot of neglect. It was a lot of abuse. A lot of I was always told I'll never amount to anything. Things like that. I mean, constantly on a daily basis. And so it got to a point at 11 years old, my grandmother passed away. And by that time, I got passed along to my older sister. So she was my guardian. And so of course she was addicted to, drugs and drinking and things like that. And then um, she had a boyfriend at the time also, and my niece was 2 years younger than me, and she was at that situation also. Um, they didn't pay rent, nothing like that. So we eventually got evicted from our apartment. And so we started living in the streets of New York. We started living in subways, started living in alleyways, in abandoned buildings, in parks. We were begging for food. We were stealing. We were doing whatever we could to survive in the streets of New York. And it got to a point where my sister called my niece's sponsors. There's these sponsors. My niece used to go to this place called Metro Ministries, and Metro Ministries is a place where they pick up around 2,000 kids all around New York City, and they bring them to one place on Saturday to worship God and learn about God. And most of these kids are underprivileged, so they don't have much. And so they try to find sponsors all around the world to sponsor these kids. And I went there a few times. It just wasn't my thing. And my niece went there constantly every Saturday. And so my niece had sponsors in the state of Louisiana. And so what my sister decided to do was to call them up. And so the plan was this: for me and my niece to move to Louisiana, stay there for about 6 months, and then my sister and her boyfriend had to turn themselves into jail, go through a program and things like that. And then after the 6 months, they moved to Louisiana and big happy family, start all over. Well, it didn't work that way. They went back into drugs and drinking. And here we were with these two strangers that I didn't want to be around. My niece didn't want to be around. But what they taught me was something different. They taught me a life of success. They taught me a life of love, of warmth. I remember, I'll never forget when we first moved to Louisiana. They brought us to their house, and they walked us to the room, and they said, okay, here's the bed right here, and this is your bed. And I haven't slept in a bed in a long time. And so simple stuff. I climbed on top of the bed, and that's it. I didn't even know how to put covers over me. That's how my mindset. It was I just didn't know simple stuff. And so like that. And so they had to teach me how to do that. They had to put rules, doing homework and discipline and things like that. But it was just a different type of life that I wasn't used to. But the love, what broke me, and my anger that was inside, and the things that I was feeling, the bitterness, was their love. And what they started doing, they started taking me to church and things like that. And that's when I got introduced to Jesus. And my niece, the funny thing is my niece saw the same thing, but she decided she wanted to go back to New York. She has family on her father's side over there in New York. I had a choice to go with her back to New York, to what I'm used to, or stay with these two strangers. And well, I decided that I wanted to stay with these two strangers who I call my mom and dad today. And so, and she decided to go back. And so ever since then, ever since I chose to stay with this couple who I call my mom and dad today, it's changed my life forever, especially after I gave my life to the Lord. I'm the first person in my family to graduate high school, college, become valedictorian of every class I've ever been in, become a doctor, build a business, help tons and thousands of people a month, get their health back. And I get to share what I'm sharing with you today to so many people all around the world. And not saying because that there's something special about it. There's nothing special about me. I just said yes. I said yes to Jesus. I said yes to the choices that were in front of me and the opportunities. I mean, there's so many people that have opportunities in front of them, but they're so limited, and they feel so entrapped, and they feel like, no, I can't say yes because they feel like a victim. They're a victim of their past. And so if you become a victim of your past, you never can take that step forward. And so I just made the choice, I'm going to become a victor. I'm going to forget my past. I've never forgotten my past. I still remember it, but I'm more interested in what the future holds instead of the past. And so I'll just become a victor. I become victorious, and I already know that I've already won. And so all I have to do is just make little choices. And it's like you make one good choice, and you have this circle of success back and back. Doesn't mean nothing bad is going to happen to you. You just know what you've been through. And right now, I know nothing is impossible. If God can take me from the deepest, darkest place in New York City and bring me to his marvelous light, there's absolutely nothing. So I know whatever's in front of me, I'm only 26 years old. I'm going to be 27 in a month. I know whatever's in front of me is nothing compared to what I had behind me. And so like that pushes me forward. I'm really grateful to what I've been through, because it doesn't control me. It propels me. And it's really exciting. Like, man, I'm just grateful I went through that, because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't because of that. And I have like this chip in my shoulder. Like, no, keep going, keep going. It's like I want to break a generational curse in my family. And so like, because all my family, they've been broken. I was always told that I was either going to mount another, I'll be a drug addict, I'll be an alcoholic, or I'll be in jail, especially by now. And I've done none of that. And so I've just, I said yes to Jesus. I said yes to all these little choices and opportunities, and boom, and that's where I am. And so I still have lots and lots to do. I still have a big vision, a big mission. It's still not done. This is just the beginning. And so, but yes, that's my little story in the short end.
Yeah. It's been too long since we talked, man. Your story gives me goosebumps. Like every time I hear it, I love it. But I love what you say about choice, because yes, our circumstances change, and you had some pretty wild circumstances, but there's always a choice. There's always an opportunity, and if you acknowledge that where you are now, at some level, is the result of choices you've made or not made, right? And by not making a choice, you're making a choice. That's an empowering place to be. Because if you don't like where you are right now, you have to make different choices, and and just like that, you can begin to propel yourself in a new direction. And gosh, you are just living proof of that in a way that is just awesome. And had the honor of meeting and spending a little time with your parents as well. And man, I can see why you're the man you are today, man. They're good people, loving people, and gosh, they care about you deeply.
Yes.
So what advice do you have, for people who feel stuck? Because right now, with everything happening with COVID, there's so many people who feel like the odds are against them, the world's against them, they don't have hope, there's no opportunity. What do you say to those people?
And so the people who feel like there's really no hope, no opportunity, I've been there. And so like I've been there quite a few times. And so like there's no way out. Like you're like in this balloon, and you feel like when I'm in those situations, it's like you have to take yourself out of that circumstance. And of course, you can't control whatever the circumstance is. You can only control what's in your mind and your perspective towards that circumstance. What I've realized is that you have to get yourself out of the way. I think that what blocks a lot of people's blessings is ourselves. And so is our own fears, our own doubts, our own insecurities. And that's probably because we've been raised like that, or this world has taught us a certain way of living. And if you don't live that way, then people are going to say, no, this is out of the status quo. Why are you thinking that way? Things like that. But little do they know, they want to see that. They want to see that light that's within people. And so people with no hope, and they feel like they're stuck and things like that, like there's always opportunity. There's always opportunity. People think, oh no, there's no hope. There's always, you just got to find it. You got to look for it. I think people are blinded by their circumstance. And if you base your life on your circumstance, I mean, yeah, I'll have no hope too. If you base yourself out of your circumstance, whether it's a job, whether it's finances, whether it's family issues, whether it's relationships, whether it's marriage, whether it's whatever that is that people are listening right now, you can't base your life off your circumstance. You got to base your life off what you truly desire. You know, like a lot of people say, I want this, I want that. I really don't like the word want, because I feel like that's lack. That means you like, I feel like want is like lack. Like, I like the word desire. I desire this in my life. And so I choose to make this decision to get to that. And then every choice that we make, we talked about choices before, and you talked about it a little bit, is that every choice that we make, and it's like a stepping stone. And some stepping stones, you may fall and trip, but you have to get back up, because you have this vision in front of you. And so a lot of people, I think people perish and people crumble and people in their own circumstance because there's no vision. You know, the word says that without vision, people perish. And so a lot of people don't understand even vision. You know, that the people think it's just eyesight. No, it goes behind eyesight. And so like the people that feel stuck right now, what my biggest advice is, find whatever vision God has for you. And so like, and that's going to take work, but you have to seek and seek and seek, and that vision will be revealed to you. And so, but yes.
I love that, man. And I know I'm actually working with a group called Clemmer and Associates, and I'm leading a team of people right now through a camp called Samurai Camp. And they do a lot of goal setting. They set big goals. And we always start with vision.
Yeah.
Start with vision, and we have them, articulate every little thing that like you said, they desire for their life, whether it be, their relationship, their health, their business, financially, whatever that is, and make it big and get emotionally invested in it. And then from there, draw your goals from that. What's a goal that you can set for the next 90 days? It's going to move you closer to that big vision you have. And but without that vision, there's nothing to change. Yeah. There's nothing to move forward to. Yes. Yes. So I love that piece of what you said, and you're right about choice, because if you want to move in a healthy direction, whatever piece of your life. I mean, you and I work in healthcare.
Yeah.
But if you want to move in a healthy direction, it's time and it's repetition of good choices, and it's the cumulative effect of good choices over time, repeated, that leads to a different result, that leads to life change. Exactly. And that thinking can apply to anything. I mean, we apply it to health. You eat one spinach salad, that's a good thing, but it's not going to do a lot to move the boat forward, right? It's the time and the repetition of the behavior. And you repeat a positive behavior, you make good choices over time. Your life has no choice but to go in a better direction.
Yeah.
But what's your approach to health? I mean, when if I'm a new patient, I walk into your office and I come in and I say, Dr. Antonio, I want to be healthier.
Yeah.
What do you do?
And so I really teach all my patients really the 5 essentials. And so these 5 essentials are really basically, I come from a philosophy of really the chiropractic philosophy that you were born perfectly made, wonderfully and perfectly made. There's nothing broken, nothing missing in your life. And so it's just when sickness or disease or pain or whatever comes, there's something interfering with your body's ability to heal. A lot of people, when they get like some type of symptom, even though I hate the word symptom, I like using the word signal. Signal, because symptom is what the world has created some type of a bad connotation, like, oh, you have a symptom and things like that. It's really a signal. It's your body doing the right thing at the right time. It's doing the right thing at the right time. So it's a signal. Your body's telling you something. When somebody comes in with a headache, with shoulder pain, things like that, what is your body telling you? There's something interfering with your body's ability to heal. And so the key to health is this: you remove whatever's interfering with your body's ability to heal, and you give the body what it needs. And guess what? Your body can heal because it was created to heal. How I know that? Because if you cut your finger, what happens without you even thinking about it? It just heals. It scabs over and it just heals. It's amazing. It truly is. And so, with that case, with that philosophy, that way of thinking, I teach people really the 5 essentials, and what those are is you got to remove subluxation. Subluxation is stress and pressure on your nervous system due to some type of stressor in your life, and that typically is showed up in the spine. When you take pressure off of that, guess what? Your body begins to heal. Your nervous system, your brain is able to send signals down your spine, out your spinal cord to every cell, tissue, and organ in your body, and it's amazing. Your body gets to function at a better rate. And most of the effects is you don't even feel it. However, your body functions is truly amazing. And so, number 2, the second essential is your mindset. A lot of people need to know that they have to believe in themselves that they will be well. And so I teach people a lot about how to decrease stress, how to have better sleep and things like that. And so the third essential, how to put good nutrients inside your body. I really talk a lot about nutrition. I always have Facebook videos constantly. I do a lot of talks in the office about nutrition. I do one-on-one talks about nutrition. And so I really hone in on that because right now, how we eat now in this culture, especially in the US, is killing us. It's killing us, especially kids. There's more obesity than ever. And so I think if you want to grow a healthy generation, you have to start with kids. And so I really talk about a lot with nutrition. And then I teach people how to detox, the proper way to detoxification. People are just toxic. The reason is because there's toxicity in our food. There's toxicity everywhere in the things that we put in our skin, things like that. So I really talk about the proper way to detoxification. And the proper way to exercise. And so people, if you're not moving, you're dying. And so movement is like lotion to the body. And so the more you move, the better your body moves. And so your longevity actually increases. And so with those 5 essentials, basically you're removing all those interfering forces that actually stop your body's ability to heal. And when you use those 5 essentials, guess what? It's credible, but your body begins to heal on its own. Whatever sickness and disease that you may have, or what the world has labeled you, the cause is a cure. And so basically remove those interferences, your body begins to heal. And so that's kind of what I teach my patients on a daily basis. And because of that, we have a drug freedom bin over here that people drop off their medications off. And so people get off their medication, people lose weight, people have better relationships with their spouse, and lower antidepressants, lower anti-anxiety. There's families get reconciled. Kids pay attention on school more. People, it's just amazing. People's vision gets better. Their hearing gets better. Cancer. I just had a couple months ago, a woman, her cancer nodules decreased. Oh no, it's gone. It's not decreased. It's gone. It's not even there. It's just amazing. All these miracles, and it's just removing interference from the body's ability to heal. And guess what? Your body, all by itself, with no help, does the rest. And so,
yeah. That's kind of the major premise of what we do. Where really, ultimately, it comes down to your body's smart. Your body has this inborn, hardwired ability to heal. That's there. It never leaves you. It never goes away. It's always there. The question is it able to express itself properly? Is there something interfering with that? And gosh, you hit the nail on the head, buddy.
Yes.
Whenever I talk to people on here, I like to give you guys the last word. And so what does the world need to hear from Dr. Antonio Rivera right now?
Well, I can talk a little bit about a bunch of things, but what I've realized is that A lot of people want a better future. And so, like, but in order to have a better future, we got to stop wanting a better past. And so a lot of people fall victim of their past and they never move forward. And so, like, we have to let that go. And so, whether it's health wise, whether it's relationships, whether it's just you. And so, like, you have to let go of your past, appreciate it, appreciate where you come from, and then you have to move forward. And so, you got to desire a better future for you and your family. Because if you don't, you'll be stuck in the past and then you'll never be able to move forward. You're never going to be able to break that generational curses that haunt so many families. And so, like, especially my family. And so, but yes, I want to leave people with that. If you want to have a better future, you got to be able to not want a better past. Forget that and you keep moving forward.
That's awesome, man. Well, it's powerful. And Antonio, this has been awesome, man. And I'm excited to see you in just a few short weeks at your wedding in Louisiana.
Yes.
Seeing you guys.
Excited about that. Yes.
Yeah. So congratulations to you both, and I appreciate you coming on. And guys, if you find this valuable, if you find Antonio's message valuable, which, holy cow, I've got so many nuggets that I'm taking from this, share it, send it to that person who needs to hear it. Censorship is alive and well with natural health topics. So when you share it, it really helps us reach more people with this information. So Dr. Antonio, thank you, buddy. And everybody, I've got Dr. Charlie Fagenholz coming on at 11 a.m. We're going to have some fun. We're talking the B word. So
that's a big topic.
It's a big one. We're going to have some fun and probably stir the pot a little bit. So,
yes.
All right, guys. See you at 11 o'clock.
Yes. Appreciate y'all.